The story starts with Zarathos explaining how he waits in the darkness until it's his time to punish.
I wait in the darkness until it's my time to punish. I am the lava churning beneath the mountain, the spider waiting in the web, the blade hiding in the scabbard, the bullet tucked into the chamber.
In the next scene, we see Johnny Blaze standing beside a tunnel on his bike, waiting to go inside. It's the tunnel located in the Black Hills of South Dakota, the same tunnel where people enter but never come out. Johnny is not afraid to join them. He wants this to end or take control, and he doesn't care if something happens to him. Zarathos also explains how well he understands Johnny Blaze. He compares his understanding of Johnny to the way Johnny understands his motorcycle.
I understand him the way he veers emotionally, the way he moves physically, the same way he understands a motorcycle. For years, I have been riding his heart and gripping his collarbone like a Harley night train.
Zarathos explains that they are in the tunnel, both Johnny and Zarathos, by the command of Mephisto, who wants Zarathos to leave Johnny Blaze and find a new host. Obeying, Zarathos leaves Blaze at the mercy of a giant spider and begins searching for a new host.
It's time for me, Mephisto commands, to move on and find a new vehicle that doesn't resist me, someone whose veins will run cleanly with sulfurous oil and hellfire. It's time to kill the engine of Johnny Blaze.
As the story progresses, Zarathos searches for his host, moving between bodies like bodies move between rooms.
This time is different than the others. This time I feel unmoored, lost. I am everywhere and I am nowhere. I am everyone and I am no one. My compass spins fast enough to conjure a wind that strokes the flame. As I burn through the world, where there is danger, anger, fear, unrest, or desperation, I am there.
We then see a character, Lisa, sitting with her children and talking to her mother-in-law. She explains how she is managing a double shift job, hasn't had enough sleep, and is under pressure and depression because her mother-in-law is trying to take custody of the children through legal procedures. As the mother-in-law leaves the house to bring a lawyer, Lisa breaks out in anger and screams loudly. Suddenly, Zarathos appears and takes control of her body. When the mother-in-law returns with the lawyer, she sees Lisa transformed into a ghost rider. She asks the children to get in the car, but the girl says she wants to stay with her mom, Lisa. In the next moment, the mother-in-law is punished for her sins. Further in the story, we see Zarathos in Asgard, under lock and key, resting in a tomb. In it lies the body of Skrymir, the sorcerer, the frost giant. As we know, Skrymir's head had been shattered by Thor in Immortal Thor #1.
His hate for the god knew no bounds, festering even in his death. I tapped into this, and together we sought out Thor and all his kin. I do not feel, but I understand the feeling of my host. And in this case, the anger of the frost giant was the anger of any peasant who defies the royalty oppressing them. But the wrath of hell could not compete with the fury of a god. The hammer of Thor knocked me loose once more, until I found another eager vessel.
Moving on to the next host, we see a character named Danger at a data center in New York City.
Danger spent her life living in the shadow of the X-Men. Sometimes she felt an almost maternal love for them, and other times a child's spite. But now that Orcus has murdered and exiled her mutants, she feels a different sort of discontent. Whatever she adored or hated, the mutants were hers. She would punish the humans. She would infect them.
Next, we see her spreading malware poisoned with demonic code. This poisonous code makes people kill themselves due to the damnation gaze. Now the story takes us a few 100,000 miles away from Earth, where people are killed by the alien creature Brood, because the miners drilled into an asteroid that was a brood hive. But we see an anomaly trying to protect a female character from other brood creatures.
I don't know why you are helping me, but thank you.
The autopilot was already engaged when the brood exploded out of the cargo hold. The freighter will land on Earth, and the brood will descend on humanity like a biblical plague, except that one of their own now stands in their way.
Similarly, we see Zarathos' journey included possessing various individuals. Ultimately, Zarathos settled within the recently depowered hood, finding a kindred spirit in him in Chicago.
Then I feel something like a shift in pressure or a deepening of gravity. After so many strobe-like flashes of hellfire, so many punishing glimpses inside the hollows of skulls, I know where to go. A kindred soul who has no concerns about innocence, no sense of moral compass, no complication about the slaughtering harvest to come. I have at last found my new host, the Hood.